So let's move on. Northeast corner, we got a big one on Friday night. Northeast corner, we got West Noble, maybe a little bit of surprise against the perennial power Angola. What do you see out of those two 3-0 teams?
Impressed by West Noble for sure, starting 3-0. I think for the first time since 1989, maybe. So it's a great job by Coach Monty Marhorter and West Noble. But Angola, what they did last week to Jimtown at Jimtown is further proof that Angola is every bit as good as they were a year ago. I mean, I know Andy Thomas doesn't want to talk about 9-0. He doesn't want to talk about 12-1, but you can see it already that this is a team perfectly capable of doing that.
Do they look hungrier than they were last year? Obviously, they rolled through the regular season last year, and they ran into Bishop Dwenger on a really cold night, where it would have been a defensive battle anyways. Do they seem a little bit different, a little testier?
I think it's a more confident group. I think it knows that it has the respect of teams in the NECC and the region, and I think it's certain guys left over from last year want to take that next step, and I think you have a new crop of guys that want to prove that it wasn't just that senior class last year that led Angola to that 12-1 record. They want to see sustainability from the program, and they're doing that through the first 3 games. I mean, as impressive as they were last year at this time.
Correct, definitely. They were definitely impressive. They lost to Bishop Dwenger last year, but they were still a very impressive team. Let's move to the small division. Churubusco, they're outscoring their opponents by 26. They're 3-0. They got a 80-point advantage in the points for, points against, and they got Eastside on Friday night. So that's going to be maybe a shootout and obviously explosive offense about Churubusco. What can they do on the field?
Watching Churubusco last Friday, and Paul Sade was guarding against that Garrett game because Garrett had gotten rolled by 49 the week before against DeKalb, and there were a lot of people around Churubusco that was taking Garrett for granted, and Garrett gave them a football game, especially in the first half. So Churubusco did some things at halftime to really get that offense going. They only scored 7 points in the first half, so they were able to get the offensive going and kind of turn that game around, but Churubusco, despite being 3-0, is by no means untouchable in this division or the conference, and I think that's what the Eagles learned last Friday is you can read your headlines and everything. That's one thing, but you're going to get tested week in and week out. So when Garrett tests you, and then Eastside's definitely going to test you, they got to be ready to play.
Obviously, they got a lot of weapons on offense, the Eagles do. They lost to Southwood last year, the Carson Blair show and Peyton Trexler show. Can they be a team in 1A that makes a run down to Lucas Oil?
I think so, because they're a balanced offense. With Tom Richards at quarterback, he is capable of throwing the football. I mean, he's not going to come out and throw 30 games. That's just not what Churubusco does or wants to do. But it keeps defenses honest with what he does with his arm. A lot in the short passing game, and he can go vertical when he needs to over the top. So that's what makes Churubusco really dangerous, I think, in this conference and in the postseason, is how they can beat you in a variety of ways. And that offense itself is just so difficult, that wishbone kind of thing that confuses defenses.
It's always tough to defend that wishbone when it gets a little bit colder and it hurts to hit, and
well, it's all reactionary, right? So in the cold, when you're thinking about being cold, you're not thinking about your assignments or where the ball is. So, yeah, definitely.
The wishbone. I love the wishbone, a little triple option. I'm a big fan.